Because what are you doing? Seriously, what are you showing to us? You're showing us that the only way you think you can communicate with us is by shoving absolutely everything you can down our throats that's bad about this product you don't want us to have. You do the same thing with products you do want us to have. Cereal. Hell, Cheerios. I love Cheerios. Cheerios are awesome. I grew up with Cheerios. But Cheerios will improve. Cheerios is made with whole grains and will improve your heart and cholesterol. Do you really have to put that in every single Cheerios commercial? No, I don't think you do. Wow, Cheerios will improve my heart? That just gives me another reason to love Cheerios. But then you hear about other commercials, not just Cheerios specifically, but other commercials, who now they're getting upset that this one product is selling better than theirs because they made one great commercial. So, let's take Budweiser and Miller Lite, for example. Budweiser used to have the Budweiser Frogs. Budweiser Frogs were very popular. Perhaps you saw a brand new Budweiser Frog every Super Bowl. Hell, some people watched the Super Bowl just for the commercials, and we loved the Budweiser Frog Super Bowl commercials. Miller. Well, Bud Light started selling very well during these during these Super Bowl commercials and the Budweiser Frogs franchise. Miller got really upset with that. So what did Miller do? Well, Miller started putting out a lot of slander against Budweiser. Alright, I can understand you wanting to promote your product as being better than another product. But do you really have to go out in front of Budweiser's main headquarters with a bunch of people screaming, "Miller Lite is better! Miller Lite is better!" No. What that does is that makes your product look like it's the piece of shit. I have not seen a Budweiser commercial yet that is defaced or devalued Miller Lite. I've seen the same thing with Coke and Pepsi. Now, let's take a couple of Coke commercials, for example. You have a bunch of kids who are sitting on top of a building. One of the kids has a guitar, and they start playing, "I'd like to buy the world a Coke and let everybody smile." Now, take a Pepsi commercial. You have a Pepsi truck and a Coca-Cola truck pull up against each other at a stoplight. The Coca-Cola truck turns up its radio a little bit louder than the Pepsi truck. It's playing classic rock. The Pepsi truck turns up its radio a little louder. It's playing rap and R&B. Well, Coca-Cola truck turns up its radio a little more. Pepsi truck turns up its radio a little more. Coca-Cola truck turns up its radio full blast. What does the Pepsi truck do? Huh? Does anybody remember this commercial? Why, the Pepsi truck shoots giant amps and speakers out its side and starts doing bounces with hydraulics.
I remember that.
When the light turns green, the Pepsi truck pulls away, and the Coca-Cola truck goes, "Wow, that was cool." Now, I have not seen a single Coca-Cola commercial that did anything to deface or devalue Pepsi. Here's another Coca-Cola commercial for you. A very nice Coca-Cola commercial, as a matter of fact. It's Diet Coke. There's a guy, pops open a Diet Coke, and a bunch of bubbles pop out of it and start dancing around the city with him. And he's just walking down the street, dancing with these bubbles. Pepsi commercial. There's a Coca-Cola machine and a Pepsi machine sitting next to each other on a beach shore shack. People keep walking up and buying Pepsis, but they leave the Coca-Cola machine alone. They take the Coca-Cola machine out and put it in with a brand new Coca-Cola machine, Diet Coke. People still drink the Pepsis. They leave the Coca-Cola machine alone. They pull that out and they put it in a Coke Zero machine, and they still buy the Pepsis and leave the Coca-Cola machine alone. Well, the end of the commercial, they take away the Coca-Cola machine and they put in a snack machine. All Pepsi's saying in all of their commercials is, "We're better than Coke, we're 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 better than Coke." What's Coca-Cola saying? We're not trying to be better than anybody. We're just putting out a good product, and we hope you like it. Pepsi, we're better than Coke, we're better than Coke, we're better than Coke, we're better than Coke. You better believe we're better than Coke, we're better than Coke. Please tell like us better than Coca-Cola.
Don't forget the Pepsi challenge.
Oh, and the freaking Pepsi challenge. I don't want to even get started on the Pepsi challenge. It pisses me off about Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Pepsi's trying to make themselves seem to be better off than Coca-Cola. While Coca-Cola is just sitting back and riding out on themselves. Now, why in all the world would you care if your product is better than someone else's product? I mean, I understand you want to make more profits than the other people, but do you really have to shout it at the top of your lungs, almost crying like little schoolgirls, "Our product is better"? That doesn't make me want to buy a Pepsi. Hell, as a matter of fact, that makes me want to buy more Coca-Cola. So Pepsi, do me a quick favor. Stop putting out commercials, period. As a matter of fact, I think your last big commercial involved Britney Spears. Look where that took you. Now, Coca-Cola, well, I just said everything I could about Coca-Cola. I have no problem with them, because every Coca-Cola commercial I've seen has been wholesome, warm, and downhearted. My favorite Coca-Cola commercial, as a matter of fact, is a bunch of penguins out in the Arctic dancing and having a rave and drinking Coca-Cola. And two polar bears, a mama and a baby, are sitting up on a hill watching. The baby takes a step forwards and starts sliding down the hill and slides right into the middle of the crowd of penguins. What happens? A little baby penguin walks out and gives the baby polar bear a Coca-Cola. Wow! And what does Pepsi do? We're better than Coke, we're better than Coke, we're better than Coke. Please tell us we're better than Coke. Cut it off.
Sorry.